Hey, good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning. Um, SpaceX about to launch that Starship. Maybe they got a little problem. They were saying on the live stream with temperatures or something like that, so they may scrub the launch. I guess if anybody's watching that on another stream, let me know. Anyway, supposed to happen about 10 or 15 minutes from now. So, anyway, big day, big day. And let's go ahead and get started on our day. So, Morning Monster, welcome everybody. Got my Black Monster today. One of the last ones I got. They don't carry that flavor anymore at Sam's Club, so replacing it with some different flavors. Anyway, Strawberry Dream, the can I have a little can of, they decided to go full size at Sam's Club. Anyway, all trading involves a substantial risk of loss. Remember, past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. This guy here may be full of crap and never get anything right again. This presentation here intended to be informational, educational, and fun, and is not a recommendation to buy or sell any financial instrument. If you desire that personal financial advice, you got to hire and consult a financial advisor who has a responsibility to take care of your, a fiduciary responsibility to take care of you, as they say in legalese. So, that's like magic words for a broker too. If you ever call in and have a problem, like you have a fiduciary responsibility to take care of X, Y, Z. That gets their attention really quickly because you know what you're talking about. Anyway, so magic lingo there in the world of brokers and trading and financial management. Oh, excuse me. A little bit of something in my throat there. All right. How we doing this morning? If you want to chat with me, chat's open on YouTube. So if you want to chat, you got to be a subscriber. Hit the subscribe button while you're there. You might as well hit the alerts because I go live at about 9:10, 9:15 every single morning. Talk about the movers for the day and what's happening. And the big news this week, we have the first big week of earnings. Lots of banks in here. Seeing a little bit of big tech in here. Netflix, Tesla, IBM. We've got Alcoa hitting. That's usually looked at as like the company that kicks off earnings, but we've got lots of other companies coming in here. Of course, J.P. Morgan and like 6 other banks announced on Friday. Like I said, we've got Pinnacle and Charles Schwab, and I saw lots of Bank of America in here. So there are lots of banks. Discover Bank and First Horizon. Where'd that one go? First Horizon. I just saw it right there, right down here. That's a local. That was First Tennessee. They changed their name to First Horizon. You got Morgan Stanley, the parent of E-Trade, U.S. Bank Corp. So lots of banks. Noki coming in here. So we've got a little bit of volatility we'll probably see on banks and in big tech a little bit. Netflix, I do expect them to go on up and fill their gap higher. So keep an eye on that one for how it comes out of earnings. Could be a big up. It could be a retrace. We'll take a quick look at the chart. That one's coming up tomorrow after the close, so maybe we could talk about it during 30 Minutes of Awesome that I do on Tuesdays at 5 p.m. Although we're going to push this week's show back a little bit. We're going to do 6 p.m. this week because I have another joint venture with Mr. Lance Ippolito. Never really worked with him before. Met him one time about a year and a half ago. And he agreed to do something with me. So we're going to do that about 4 o'clock on Tuesday, tomorrow. And it won't be on YouTube. So if you want the link, make sure you're in Discord. Link's in the description. I'll kick the link out in Discord. All right. We got housing, D.R. Horton right here. That's has been one of my clients. And regions, more, a little bit of banks, a little bit of other stuff. So interesting. Should be an interesting week. And like I said, this is just kicking it off. Next week's going to be even bigger for Q1 earnings. So stay tuned for more, if you will. All right. Let's go ahead and look at some charts. So I didn't bring the big black chart because, well, S&P ended up Friday right near the top, trying to break out. Now we have 2 potential paths going here. one, we're either going to rally right back up and get to that 4,300 zone. I don't really want to see it extend all the way up to 4,500 because that becomes a key fib level to roll over and make a lower low than we saw in October. And I sound like a broken record for those that keep coming, but I get lots of new people every time, and I would be remiss if I don't warn you that if we pop straight up to 4,500, that we could see a lower low than we saw in October. Now, if we pull back at 4,300, that's healthy, and we can go higher high than we made back here in early 2022 before we went on this year-long downtrend. Now, the other path, two paths. The other path is that we pull back from where we are now, just shy of breaking out higher than of this consolidation we had in February. We pull back, do like a 50 to 618 retrace back down to this 4,000 area, and then go for the move up to 4,300, possibly even 4,400 before pulling back again and then moving on up. So this has a potential 1, 2, 1, 2 type structure, and this could be another 1, 2 if we do that. There'd be a bunch of nested, and it can lead to a powerful, very, very powerful move up that could blow all this away, and we could go to a higher high than we had, again, back here in early 2022. And remember, NASDAQ tapped out back here in November, well before S&P topped out. So that's the pass. Everybody clear on that one? Good. If you got questions, I'll circle back. But that's our two paths right now, both rather bullish, looking higher, not looking lower. I mean, that's a very low probability path at this point. We'd have to start breaking down, getting below this, getting below the trend line. I haven't even extended the trend line because I don't really see down as a high probability path from where we are right here. And we may retrace to about 4,000. I expect that to hold. If we start getting below that, then I can start talking about where resistance points are below us. But you can see we had a whole bunch of consolidation right at that 4,000. We've consolidated there before. We consolidated there before. We consolidated there lots of times right around that 4,000 area. So I expect that to hold. And we to go higher if we do a retrace from right here. Now, if we go up to 4,300, it's likely we come back here one more time, right around 4,100, where we topped here, here, and here. Probably come visit this again before we go even higher if we bounce down from 4,300. Sucks. We've been sideways for, this is almost 11 months right here, completely sideways. We were right over here in May. And now we're right back here, mid-April. May's just right over here. That's a whole year of just sideways consolidation right at the bottom here. Doesn't feel like it, but feels like we've been on a whirlwind adventure, right? But really, we're just sideways for a whole year. And then if you zoom out a little bit more, look. Mid-April, right there, 2021. That's 2 full years just sideways. We've made a little diversion up, a little diversion down, and then we're just sideways 2 full years. So, come on, S&P. We got to get some movement. We need to move some money and make some money, right? All right, moving on. DGS2, alerts all over the place. The interest rates hovering right in where I kind of expected, and I kind of expect us to keep going. This is the blue is the market rate, the DGS2, the 2-year constant treasury. This is the market rate for interest. And the Fed rate, their target rate up here, they haven't quite made it up to the target rate, still hovering in their previous target. They may make it up to that target rate and kind of hover sideways. So, that is the Fed funds. This orange is the actual Fed funds rate. The orange block up here is their target rate. And we're coming up on another FOMC meeting here in a couple weeks. So what are they going to do? Look, right now, I think they're going to probably fly sideways. Not raise, not cut, not do anything if this continues to hold right here with DGS2 underneath the Fed funds rate. And that's a significant lower, their target rate up to 5, and we're hanging out below 4 right now. I don't know. We'll see what happens. As I kind of threw out there as a theory in January that we'd fly sideways for a bit and then see the market rate start rising again. I think inflation is going to pick up again, quite possibly. We'll see what happens. So we may fly sideways for a few months here and then pick back up. How does this all relate to today? Well, S&P 500 on Friday, closing with a little doji right up near the top. Couldn't break out. Just uninteresting on Friday. S5FI hanging out right in the middle. Again, this consolidation here in the middle, probably going to go up and retest the top. It's highly likely we could get a little pull down. That could be that little dip I was talking about on the S&P where we dip right here before we rally. But we are more likely to go up to the top, back to 80. That's 80% of stocks above their 50-day moving average. If you didn't know this was a handy-dandy ticker, right there it is, S5FI. Highly likely to go visit 80 since we spent all this time down here at the bottom. Now, my theory is that we've done this. That's what we just did here. Spent a little more time at the bottom than we did back in 2020. And then we're going to shoot up to the top, probably get a retrace, and then go hang out at the top for several weeks as we make a new all-time high. That's kind of my idea of what we have going on here pattern-wise. And the Fed pivot is just going to be, I don't think they pivot. I think they just hold, and then we'll see. And then the Fed pivot could be that they raise rates more. We'll see what happens. It's the difference between the mainstream media narrative and the reality of what we're seeing in the markets. So, ES. Now, if you're unfamiliar, ES is the S&P 500 futures. Like SPX's futures right here. If you're trying to trade an ETF, that's SPY. We continued to stay in this little wedge, and we have still continued to stay in this little wedge. Friday we tried to break down, tried to break out, couldn't do it, stayed right in the wedge. Today, still staying right in the wedge. We're out of room. There's only one more day we can kind of sit in this thing, and then we're going to be out, either to the top or to the bottom. This may lead us to a retrace back to the blue zone, possibly even down to the roadmap line, or we're going to pop and head up to this 4,300 area. 4,300 is not that far away at this point, so I don't know. This is showing a little bit of weakness, and we've been trying to push out the bottom, so we may finally break that uptrend channel and push down for a little deeper retrace before we can get the energy to go up to 4,300. All right. NQ, still sitting in this box. We broke into the box and ran out of steam. Couldn't make it to the top of the box to retest the highs from August. And that 4,300 I'm talking about on ES is also the highs from August. All right, so a little bit of confluence on the charts. ES actually outperforming NQ just a touch. Now, NQ is big tech. That's NASDAQ. Futures for NASDAQ. QQQ, if you wanted to trade an ETF for that. Just to tie it all back together. And I do expect us to go test that August high. Potentially pull back from there. Maybe pull back all the way to the bottom of the box again before we can get the strength to break on out and go test these higher consolidation areas and highs up here around 15,000. Like I said, NASDAQ rolled over back here in November and has been a down, down, down. It got beaten down. It outperformed to the downside and has opportunity to outperform back to the upside. Russell is our small caps. And if you wanted to trade an ETF on that one's IWM. I keep track of the small caps because it kind of gives me the pulse of where these are our first movers. They're smaller, more nimble companies that can move faster. And we see them kind of outperform and lead out of recessions. And I do believe we probably had one, even though YouTube kind of throttled my video on it back in July. I kind of think we had one already, even though the mainstream media and the government won't admit it. And the rest of the world, kind of all follows the same criteria as a recession as we pretty much did. So this thing was outperforming, and then on this pullback, when the banks kind of freaked out, they outperformed to the downside here briefly since February through now, And we're just consolidating here at the bottom, whereas ES and NQ are consolidating at the top. So this one has a huge opportunity to rally back up to about this 2,000, potentially even 2,200 area, and outperform the performance, just the percent gain of S&P 500 and NASDAQ. Dollar continuing to try to bounce a little bit here, showing a little bit of weakness. Now, the information I was reading here is that the euro trade is long, very long, and kind of crowded, and that FXE would be that euro trade. And you can see we've been on a tear on FXE and due for a correction. Now, I'm not so sure we're due for a correction, because it looks like we could extend just a bit more up to about this 100, came shy of 102.5, possibly even 103, 104. I think we could extend up there before we do get another pullback. And if we look over here, we just went on a tear and didn't get much of a pullback till we did this right here. And that's where on the DXY chart, we did we came off the high relentlessly, and then we did a little bounce, came up to that resistance where we had that high from here, and then we've rolled over again. Haven't really pushed much lower, but I do expect dollar to continue on down to about this mid-90s, 96, 97 area, possibly even down to 94. We'll see here. Right now, just retesting that consolidation that we'd had from back here in January and February on the dollar. ARE continuing to show weakness. My target is 100 right now on commercial real estate. That's not really a big pre-market mover, but I do expect this to continue on down as the commercial real estate shows stress. Now, stuff that's actually moving today a little bit. Oh, the market just opened maybe. Not seeing a pre-market. Oh, there it is. Way up here. Again, bioscience, biotech, big pop. Obviously on some sort of drug approval or drug news. And hard to predict these pops on biotechs. Just is. BLBX, Black Box Stocks Incorporated, getting a huge pop right there. Nice pre-market move. Earnings, they must have had lost money, but surprised apparently on their earnings. Nice pop. Above this consolidation, probably have resistance up here in this neighborhood where we topped before. Right up here, probably between 11 and 15. Probably see a little resistance going higher into that zone. Microsoft making a little pre-pop. Still needs to break out over 295. Getting acquired by Merck. Okay. Well, that's probably the buyout price, and there's nothing to do on that then. And Microsoft finding resistance. Oh, there's the bell. I hear it in the other room. So Microsoft showing just consolidation. I mean, needs to pop above that line. Got to get above that 295 to really get continuation higher. And then it's still got some levels that it found resistance at above that, like 310, 310 to 315. And it couldn't get above this zone either, 330. And the ultimate 350, a breakout above there is going to get us an extension, and that extension is not even correct right now because this needs to come all the way down here. So potential for Microsoft to extend out to 386, possibly even 432, but this level right here is kind of holding us in above 295. That's going to be a potential nice mover. So PCVX, nice little pop, but may return to the roadmap line one more time. That's a biotech. A lot of these biotechs show up as big pre-market movers, and they're just dangerous. So try not to get up in the hype on these. The RXDX was an acquisition by, that one right there, giant pop. It's probably going to just float right up to the acquisition price, probably 200 maybe. They'll just kind of slowly drift up there and sit there until the acquisition goes through. Not really any way to make money unless you were already in on it. So ENPH trying to break out, showing a little poke above this downtrend here that we've had since January. Got the roadmap line right above us. Still cautious. Still thinking this could go down and retest these lows from back here around 150. But I'm not going to argue with a breakout. Like, Enphase is big into solar and batteries and inverters, all that stuff. So if they can break out, that'd be great. YINN, this one's shown up a few times. Minor little pop on a percent wise. It was a nice pop, but just going sideways, consolidating under the roadmap line. That's still kind of bearish. Baidu, little pop off the lows from Friday, but that's still looking kind of horrible. Found resistance. This is what I'm concerned about on Microsoft, is that we can't break above that resistance and get continuation. So MTB showing a move down. Got a few things showing downs and ups. That looks pretty bad still. It's a bank showing stress. BTU popping above the roadmap line. Positive, but still set up to go lower. We have kind of a downtrend. 2 highs here. We're not poking above that high yet. Be careful. That one can definitely extend lower, back down to these lows we had from all last summer and into the fall. And it looks like it's coming right back down, so careful on that one. NVO, that one's going to break at some point. That's another pharmaceutical biotech situation. On a tear. I guess the next fib line up is 193 if it just rocket ships up here. Baba, sitting on the roadmap line, cannot break out. They're breaking that company up, so be careful on getting too much invested in that until you find out what happens with the breakup. CPP, China Communist Party, or CCP, whatever, breaking that company up. Don't like big things that have more power than their governmental power. So, all right. PKX, another launch off. That one's steel. Not sure what the story is there. Focusing on green energy, huh? Yeah, so exponential things there tend to exponentially come back down. That can't go up like that for very long. And we do have the ultimate high right up here at 91. That's about $11 more higher, $12 more higher. Be careful. We are sitting right at those highs where we rejected pretty hard before. That thing may go up and come right back down and even go lower. So, see the zone right across here. Be careful. That looks like it's going to retrace. These things don't just go ripping like that without, I mean, all these gap ups are red candle days. So that would give me caution that we don't, I mean, you'd think on a big pop that we keep getting green, but no, that's every one of those is red except for that little guy right there. That does not look like strength. That's not more buyers coming in. So whatever they got going right there, I would be very careful. NTES potentially breaking out. That one's got resistance up here above us, but that could be what that one needs. It's breaking out of this consolidation. First indication we're going higher. We do have resistance into this area up here where we made the prior high. Stretch that up. So about 108. You could ride this from 93 to 108. ASML. This one's going to go up here to this target eventually. I'm pretty darn sure. Get a little pullback today. May retrace the roadmap line, but it's probably going to go up here. I was expecting a pullback and going a little deeper. Just building up energy to get that next push. LRCX. Just consolidating sideways. MSTR. Moving down on Bitcoin and Ethereum coming off their highs this morning. That's the recent highs, not ultimate highs. So looks like that, Mora, and everything getting a little bit of pullback today. Showing green candles, but that's a pullback. Oh, put one extra C on there. Bitcoin, yeah, getting a little pullback. May come back and retest this 2800 area. Could go all the way down to the roadmap line, but not high probability yet until we get back through this orange zone where we consolidated for like 3 weeks. So and then I hit the number instead of the, and Ethereum, like I said, pulling back off the high. The high probability move would be a retrace back down here, potentially as low as 1450-ish. That'd be a high probability retrace based on the move it just completed with that exponential little blow off top. Pull back, everybody get bummed out, and then we go ripping higher again. STT, big slam there, probably going down. This is like the complete opposite of whatever that was, Poco or whatever the steel one was I had up a minute ago, PKX, POSCO. This one looks like it's going lower, probably going to go test these lows one more time. It's already in the zone, so it may push on down. And then Roblox got slammed right back to the roadmap line. Go figure. That one has opportunity to rally right back up to that 46 area. If it can get the breakout finally, that would be good for moving higher. See, this level just continues right across like that. All right, and then IWM, check this out. Has a little gap up, looks like. Potential for it to fill the gap back down to the close from Friday, but needs to roll over to get that. Needs to show rollover candles in the 1 minute, 5 minute charts to get that gap fill. So, all right. So Novo has that weight loss thing, NVO. Yeah, there's a few of those going around. So, go Merck. Yeah, not really moving today. So that didn't make the pre-market movers. Not moving so far today, even though they're buying stuff, trying to build the case. But do expect them to continue higher right up this 119 area. That was my target. So hopefully they can get the push. They are sitting above. You know, they are in a breakout territory. That was a play from Echo Trades. I'm looking for this to keep on going. Yeah, LLY, been a monster too, playing this game. Do expect them to come up to at least 392, possibly 415. So lots of these companies getting into this weight loss game. And even WW trying to get out of here with their ability to prescribe weight loss drugs now instead of just meals. You know, fat Americans want to lose the money. I mean, want to lose the weight and lose their money doing it. They're willing to pay. So, all right. That's what's moving today. If you want to continue the conversation in Discord, links in the description. I know all the subscribers know how to get there already. And we'll see you again tomorrow for Morning Monster. Have a great day, everybody. Stay safe. The account you save may be your own. My bias for the day, cautious. We need to break out. I don't really have a big bias until we break out. We're right in the corner. So my bias is caution today. We start breaking down. My bias is down. We start breaking out. My bias is up. The range is very tiny. We only have about down to 40, basically the lows from Friday, about 41.40, and the highs from Friday, 41.90. We get out of that range. That's probably going to tell us the direction for the next day or 3. All right. Have a great day, everybody. See you again.